a bit of rock.
Brown sugar.
What was that? No,
what is
that? Is it a Georgia Satellites or something? I got a chance in my pockets going ding-a-ling-a-ling. Do you remember that?
I do.
What a song that is.
What a song.
Yeah, what a
Anyway,
song
enough
that is.
about Georgia. Let's talk about Friedman and specifically the new IRD.
I love the D.
D is for Dirty. Dirty Shirley. It is the new sister, brother, whatever, sibling to the IRX that came out last year. If you want to see a video on this, yeah. It's basically the same thing, just based on a different amplifier.
Different colour.
Dirty Shirley is Dave Friedman's kind of homage to earlier Marshalls. It's, you know, obviously he's hot rodded hundreds of them, serviced hundreds of them, and obviously makes his own very fine amplifiers. So
my favourite Friedman amp.
If you want slightly more modern, higher gain, Friedman-y sounds, you want the IRX.
Yes.
If you want more vintage, you want the IRD. And if you want both, you'll have to buy both.
But how much are they though? When you say buy both,
these are about 500 quid.
Is there a link below?
There will be a link below.
What can they do when they're down there below?
They could buy one and like and subscribe.
Yay!
And use the timestamps.
Yes.
I think the reason the IRX was so popular was because it really does combine some pretty cool IR sort of, you know, direct to your interface or sound system technology, but in an unbelievably simple and real valves. If you look in the side, it's got two, I think, two ECC 83s in there. Okay, here's the basics. Okay, two channels. The two channels are identically voiced, so they will only sound different if you put the knobs or switches in different positions. We have here a foot switchable boost, okay, over on this button here. We have volume, treble, middle, bass, and gain.
Easy.
We have 3 gain structure settings, 2 brightness settings, and 3 cab positions.
Okay, so one for each of the channels, basically.
Yeah, and and essentially, so channel 2 is a mirror image of channel 1, but you would obviously presumably set it up differently. What you heard there in that beginning jam was channel 1 with its gain and EQ all set about halfway, the structure in its lowest gain position, and the brightness switch off. So
that's like the amps, it's got the 3-stage gain, but
it's
got, I think it's got 3 brightness switches. Has it?
No, I think it's just 2.
No, that's
that's right. Brightness is 2 positions.
Oh,
gain
it's exactly the
structure
same.
is 3
But there you
positions.
go then. See,
yes.
Experiment succeeded.
It's all mono, so you've got a guitar going in, you've got a mono effects loop, and you've got a mono balanced output here.
Nothing wrong with mono.
It's just like normal amps.
Because you know what you do then?
What?
You do 2. That's when you have 2 of them. One on one side, one on the other side.
We've got a headphone output, so I'm sure many people will have this at the end of their board for practice and stuff like that. We have MIDI, we have USB, which is connected to the editor over here, which is a very, very simple editor, really just designed to assign different cabinets to each channel, load in your own impulse responses if you want to. And mains voltage, which is a slightly higher, it's 9 to 12 volt, but 800 milliamps, so you might need a slightly more manly multi-supply than this one, but it does come with its own power supply. So, let's have a listen to some basic sounds, Mr. Pete. Reverb courtesy of a plate setting on the Blue Sky.
It sounds like this. Give me a bit of reverb, please. I mean, these are they're not hot pickups, but they are humbuckers, which means they will punch me if I do this. That's a good sound, man.
I probably have omitted to tell you that obviously you are hearing this plugged straight into our interface.
There's nothing else.
And we are using the Friedman IRs that come with it. If you don't want to use the effects return that's on here for putting effects through it, you can give the front of house man that one, and then you can run the return into your on-stage amplifier, and then you'll have
Right.
one output with cab emulation and the other output
Just
without.
on for your stage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
I just want to hear it and get your opinion about, because again, you've got so many options now to go digital with this sort of product. With all the UAD, all that stuff. You could decide to go analog with that new DSM simplifier. You've got this kind of hybrid sort of thing. I mean, so much choice.
I was going to just mention that simplifier that we did the other day. This is that kind of feel. It's exactly that same kind of dynamic, rich harmonic structure in the overtones. All that stuff that people talk about. But there's something different when you plug into something analog and with a tube in it. There's a warmth in the feeling. There's something there that, unless you play it and you know what to look for with the fingers and the way you attach it, touch the. Has this got a noise gate on it? Just on the because I don't remember if the other one had. I don't think it does.
No, I don't believe it does. No.
Which makes a huge difference in the feel, because in my opinion, digital noise gates, it just sort of messes with the sound, even though it's off. There's something. It's subtle on or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Though there is something there that. If you're feely
I'd rather
touchy
have the
player,
noise than have a noise gate, but
yeah, I'd rather have it off. I don't need it,
Right. Okay. Let's just
play louder.
Yeah. Okay.
It
So
feels beautiful.
staying within this gain structure one, let's just see what we've got. So we've got really clean.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah. We can obviously go slightly dirtier.
Lovely, it's inspiring to play.
Yeah. Before I go into
Great sound.
the other gain structure modes, we can add the boost in. Now the boost has got a really slightly fiddly to get to. So I guess the idea is this is sort of set and forget on the side.
Yeah.
There's a sort of a relatively subtle amount of additional gain that you can add in, but the main boost control up here is just how much extra volume do you want. But as I said, you can add a tiny bit of extra gain and a bit of extra volume here.
That's great though to have that. Because
So,
lots of times you want a bit more gain on your.
Oh, and I should tell you that I've set this gain thing on the side to add in about a third of the potential amount of extra gain you could have. So not too much. And ironically, or not ironically, but interestingly, the boost control can be set to actually give you less volume than you've normally got on the channel,
so like
or more. Yes, I don't know. I guess you could use it in like almost in reverse. You could have it set to have you could have it set to give you almost like a quieter section of the track, but.
sounds good, man.
Yeah,
it does sound good.
The boost on the second channel works exactly the same, but you have an independent control. So you could elect to have one of your boost controls have no extra gain and it just be a volume control, and the other one with extra gain.
So you essentially got
pretty much four basic channel settings on here, haven't you?
Awesome.
Let's have a little listen. So we're not using the boost anymore. I'll set the gain control halfway and we'll just hear these three different gain structures. So here's gain, the first structure. I think it's middle is the least, down for the next amount, up for the most.
Yeah.
So let's go through that then. Yeah, so. Dave always gets that compression just right on.
Is that
on. It's the thump, isn't it?
These generics sound good in it as well.
They do. Right, let's just see what this brightness switch does.
I think up is the...
It's pretty subtle, isn't it? Yeah. And let me take the boost off. Maybe that's...
Up is on, isn't it?
That brightness thing almost feels like all that's really audible is it takes a bit of the bass end away rather than necessarily makes it brighter.
I think it sounds awesome.
Let me just mess around with the EQ. I'm not going to play with channel 2 because channel 2 is
the same.
Identical. It's just, yeah, you get the impression, right? Which is essentially what his twin sister amp is. It's two Dirty Shirleys in one. So really this is essentially, oh dear, I've seen that video.
Yeah,
right.
Brown Eye and Pink Taco, two twin sisters.
Let's play around with the EQ,
Dave.
and then I'll screen record.
How away with that? How did you get away with that without getting...
It's just because it's old school, isn't it?
It is old school.
Right, let's play with the EQ.
Those were the days, man. Come on, let's play with the EQ. What do we got first? Treble? what? It does exactly what it's supposed to. Not
Yeah.
too much, not too
Yeah.
little.
I agree.
And it's like, I'm just going to add a little bit, put it there. That's what I do with the little assistor. I just put it like, almost like maybe take a little bit of bass off it.
All those kind of vintage amplifiers, all the EQ does is give you some subtle variants of what is essentially the tone you expect it to be. It's not until you get into more modern amplifiers, Mesa Boogie and stuff like that, where the EQ kind of goes like, whoa, that's a radically different kind of tone. Anyway, so that
sounds
that.
great. Can we hear the cabinets here?
Well, I was going to do that from
Okay.
here, but you can absolutely do it from the switches on here. Let's just pop this on my lap and then start screen recording. Right, this is what the app looks like. It looks identical to the old IRX app, except that the pedal is silver rather than gold. Nothing. It's not super clever, so I can adjust knobs on here. Nothing changes on the pedal. The only thing that does change, I think,
the lights, isn't it?
Are the lights. So if I put the channel switch on, that changes. If I go to channel 2, that changes. But I don't think, none of the switch positions change or anything like that. And when you're storing stuff, by the way, you're only storing which cabinet you want to be recalled on the channel. And you see right across the top of this screen, you've got this idea of boost, loop, bypass, IR, bypass, and then somewhere else, on the top left, you've got presence and thump. You're storing those.
Thump, man.
But you're not storing, like, when you're on channel 2, the sound is wherever the knobs and switches are.
It's an extra feature that's not on here, right? Yeah, the
You
thump.
can see this top left position here for channel 1. You've got presence, thump, and your 3 different IRs. You can obviously have more IRs loaded in if you import your own ones. It comes with 3 out the box. I think I might have said that thump was on and off, but as you can see from here, it's actually a 3-position thing.
Is that presence is 3 as well, is it? Must be, yeah. Cool.
So if I toggle through the 3 thumb positions.
I mean, I like the middle one, but the full thump is too much, isn't it?
The default is the middle one. You're right. It almost sounds like
it's almost too much.
Too much if you go 1 to the right, not enough if you go 1 to the left.
Sorry.
In all fairness, that's going to be very cabinet specific, isn't it? There'll be some cabs that you'll probably want that on. But let's have a listen to presence. So the idea being, this is what I would save essentially. I'd rather have a different cabinet. We'll have a listen to those other cabinets. So here's what it is. So this is Dave's iconic Bearwood 4x12. So if I go to the next one, it does appear that these 2 windows aren't connected. So if I want to see what this is, I've got to scroll through. I do vaguely remember this from before. This wasn't the most intuitive bit, but anyway. So this is this next one. This 1960 greenback is a 1960B from the 1980s, fitted with the 20-watt greenback. So if I just jump back, it's a.
I prefer the other one.
Yeah, there's more mid-range and less bass end, isn't there, on this? And then this 112, let me just see, what does that say it is? So this is the Dirty Shirley 1x12. So we used to have that cab in here, didn't we? Is it over there? Yeah. Okay. Which is always a great sounding cab. So that's what this sounds like.
Great.
The first one is the best sounding one, isn't it?
A lot of thump on that. Oh, that sounds so good.
It does sound good.
If you take the 112 and then put the thump all the way up.
Can do. Yeah, we could go 112. I'm so hopeless with Mac mice, whatever your trackpads.
They might need it there, right? put the thump on full there.
Oh, well, let's turn the thump off.
Sorry.
I do remember this now. So obviously you've got 128 different MIDI channels, right?
Yes.
So you're not just, if you're going to use this with MIDI, you're not just limited to choosing which channel do you want.
No,
you can have 128 different combinations of which channel with which IR, with whether or not you want the boost on or off, with whether or not whether you want the thump or the presence on or off. So to a certain extent, I suppose, whilst most people will probably just use this as a 2-channel amp with boost, if you do put it into a MIDI setup, you have got some other options there.
You've got plenty.
But that is base. I mean, that is the editor, right? So it's super simple. To mess around with. Again, it's not like
you just play it and tell me how it feels. Tell me it feels.
Yeah,
doesn't
what's
feel
that?
like
Tell me that
like
it
feel
feels
like
What is that from?
You can say there's a cockerel, man. I like it to go clean, because I would do like the clean like this. So.
Do you know what? Can I decide? Right. Again, via MIDI, I can elect whether or not the effects loop is on or off. So there you via go. The channel.
Yeah.
So I could have channel 1 with the effects loop off, channel 2 with it on, or whatever I want to do.
So we put an overdrive pedal in just before we go. It'd be quite interesting just to see what it does.
Yeah, I mean, or we can just. I think you're right. I think you still, anytime you're playing through a set of studio monitors, you're still obviously getting, you're still not getting that real sense of a real cab in the room kind of vibe.
No.
But you're certainly getting all the dynamics that you'd expect from.
It's the feeling from that tube.
A tube preamp.
Yeah. So let's just put one of these Wampler toms in. That sounds so good.
It's a good pedal, isn't it? Yeah. Who was lucky enough to get hold of one of these?
Is there not more coming?
No, that's it.
Is that it?
Done. Finito.
Oh, no. Finito.
Yeah, I think I could dial.
Finito Toro.
I'd be very, very happy just dialing in.
You have like just about like a
it's
crispy.
Like an amp. It's just like an amp, isn't it?
This is exactly how I run that. So.
It sounds great.
And it feels good,
yeah.
Which is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, man alive, Guitar players, you've got so much choice these days. Where are you going to go?
Spoiled
Well, that's
for
it.
choice.
I'm fairly sure, I might be totally wrong, you'd have to dive on over to our website to find out, but I'm fairly sure these are on stock on the day of launch. So if you've watched this video and you're convinced that £500 of your money is worth exchanging for one of these, yeah, do it now. You can have this tomorrow. Happy days.
I think it's all right. I think it's all right.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
And again, if you're sort of thinking, oh, I can't, I just want to check. When we did the demo of the IRX, we used exactly the same straight into our interface. So again, you'll hear a great comparison if you watch those two videos and see which one you like the best.
We should do a comparison video maybe. Anyway,
I agree. Right, see you later. Au revoir.
Bye.